Before I go on, I'm delighted to be invited to deliver a lecture on this very important topic: security and economic growth, leadership in challenging times. First and foremost, we have to understand the nexus between peace, security, and development. If there is no peace, there is no security. And if there is no security, there is no development. The insurgency has triggered acute humanitarian and post-displacement crisis, with devastating social and economic impact on our population, further deepening fragility and poverty in the Northeast South region. When the insurgency happened in Borno State, many people in Nigeria thought that the problem is our own money. That was the mistake that we did. Nigeria is a sovereign nation comprising of 36 states. Why can't we think one very important thing? The advanced world are supporting the poorer nations. Why? Because if other nations in the world, especially those nations in the Sahelian region, and the poor countries are not supported, there will be an insecurity, and the insecurity might reach them. And that is why the European Union, the USA, and other well-advanced countries are supporting the poorer nations. But within Nigeria, we are unable to understand this problem. And we left the situation to worsen. And that is why we are now having insecurity in Northwest, North Central, and to some certain extent, the Northwest, as well as the South, and Southeast. Until, even only if this phenomenon is well understood by all of us, we shall never get rid of this problem. The restructuring that people are speaking will never solve the problem. If you structure devolution of powers, give more powers to states, having the state police, among others, will not solve the problem. The most important thing that we need to do is to see how we can holistically tackle the security situation in the nation. A fragile Northeast entails a fragile Northwestern Nigeria. A fragile Northwestern Nigeria entails a fragile North Central Nigeria. A fragile North Central Nigeria entails a fragile Northwestern, Southwestern, Southeast, and South Nigeria. We continue to kill the insurgents. You may continue to kill the Fulanis, but mind you, of the population expulsion in the country. The insurgents are also giving birth. And therefore, the only solution is how can we tackle this insecurity problem? By looking into the socio-economic and cultural dimensions of this crisis. We have to address the root causes of this insurgency, which are not limited to endemic poverty, pervasive illiteracy, high inequality, high unemployment rate, drug abuse, environmental degradation, poor economic infrastructure, poor social infrastructure, climate change, among others. And very unfortunate that we are not addressing these issues. The absence of leadership creates room for chaos. People will attempt to get away with anything in the absence of strategic leadership. The foundation of growth must necessarily include discipline all across. In Borno State, we harvested a total number of about 49,311 orphans as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency. We harvested a total number of about 49,613 widows. These are official figures. The unofficial figures are more than this. About 5,000 classrooms were destroyed. About 800 municipal buildings were destroyed. About 730 energy distribution lines were destroyed. Our flora and fauna species were destroyed. Thousands of livestock were destroyed. At the earlier stage, we're supposed to have tackled this insecurity problem in the Northeast in such a way that insecurity will not go beyond the Northeast. We shall contain it. But unfortunately, we handle it badly as a result of poor governance. Again, one most important thing that we need to look about is the issue of the poor governance. We are elected to serve our people. Unless we establish a good governance, we shall never get rid of this problem. Those poor leadership is therefore responsible for poor service delivery to Nigerians. In Nigeria, we must begin to judge the success or failure of our leaders from their ability and vision in delivery. In delivering their campaign promises, most of the current crop of leaders in Nigeria are only interested in their pockets. Most of the funding from the federal government goes into the tortuous, bureaucratic melting pots of the ministerial systems. That is very important. It is now time for us to say the right thing. How can we change the narrative? The bandits are all over, insurgents are all over. Neither the civilian JTF or the Amatekun can resolve this problem. We must go back to the drawing board. Social reorientation. Begin to think deeply into addressing the social, cultural, and economic dimensions of this insurgency, which is one. Number one is poverty. Population is increasing in a quick geometrical ratio, while food supply is dwindling. Let us understand what we mean by sustainable development. What we mean by sustainable development is ongoing development, current development happening in the nation without jeopardizing future development. When you have only one road from Lagos to Maiduguri last 30 years or even 60 years ago, you are still having one road. We are not mindful of our population growth. We need to increase the numbers of roads, ensure establishment of modern transportation system. We thank God we have seen the establishment of railways. So that the current demand will match with our own population. Hence, we seem to have redefined What constitutes leadership? Leadership must not only be selfless, but also the leader must be able to utilize the judicious resources of the state in providing people-oriented and quality services in the state. By this, leadership must be viewed as service to the people. We are always speaking about lack of funding. I've never seen, even during the oil boom, even during when we had crude oil prices had gone up more than $100 per barrel from any government agencies, be it a minister of state came out publicly or governor, that we are in receipt of source of funding from the federation account. So what matters is not the quantum of money we have, but how can we judiciously utilize the little resources that we have. So, sorry, I'm going up the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation. But again here, you go to second or third page. I want to speak on 7 main elements of security. Physical security, political security, structured system of transfer of power devoid of chaos. This is also very important. Inclusivity is very important, whether we like it or not. God has the reason why he created all of us and decided to keep all of us in Nigeria. And that is why I, Professor Babagana Umar Zullum, had advocated for power shift to the south. And will continue to do so. And mind you, nobody should think that I'm saying this one because I'm looking for vice president. I don't have any interest. I don't have any interest of becoming the president of the nation now, nor the vice president. Let the southerners compete among themselves, be it from the south-south or the southeast or south-south. As far as I'm concerned, this is something that we need to do. I saw Honorable Minister Rotimi Amechi and Momara speaking to each other. I hope they have the interest. Southwest? I said so. No, south said, southwest or south. I said all. You can compete among yourself, because this is very important. Last 8 years ago, we had a convention in our own party, and it was decided that the power should now go to the northern Nigeria. I'm a Muslim, a devoted Muslim. Although it is not enshrined in the constitution, the issue of power rotation. But as a devoted Muslim, we have to say the right thing. This is a covenant between us that power has to shift to the south. To my own advice, to my own great party, APC, I think they should listen to this our own advice. Ecological security, energy and natural resources security. Energy is very important. Infrastructural security. Once there is no infrastructure, there is no security. Most of the problems that we are facing in the nation now, the kidnapping and some that has happened, that has been happening in our major roads, is as a result of bad roads sometimes. And then the most important thing is agriculture. We've forgotten about agriculture. Borno State alone has a total land mass of about 76,000 square kilometers. Over 70% of this land mass is arable. A liter of watermelon is over 200 naira. A liter of mango juice is over 200 naira, while a petroleum liter costs below 200 naira. But because we want to get cheap money, and that is where we are now. Why is our rich soil of Benue, the Lake Chad Basin, we have the enough potentials. Some are saying that nations can grow as a result of many things. Some are saying because of its natural endowments, and I don't believe. Can we look into some examples? Like Singapore, Malaysia, Parliament, I think it's in 8 August 1968, declared Singapore, exempting Singapore from its federation. After some hours, the Singapore Parliament acted a law establishing Singapore Federation. Look at the situation in Singapore now. The line of demarcation is very distinct and cannot be crossed. So leadership is very important. Without leadership, you can't do anything. So, all these measures can be captured under national security policy that focuses on 4 key main elements. Economic governance. Go to governance. Next, go. Next. Delivery of governance, delivery of basic services. Good governance is very important. Service delivery. Economic reconstruction and sustainable development. And then last but not the least, security sector reform. Beginning with leadership, governance, good governance has to do with leadership. Ordinary leadership can be seen as the action of leading a group of people or an organization, or even a nation, or the ability to do this. Leadership is much deeper and much broader than this simplistic definition. On the whole, leadership involves establishing a clean vision, sharing that vision with others so that they will follow willingly. Providing the information, knowledge, and methods to realize that vision, and coordinating and balancing in the case of the nation the conflicting interests of all citizens and stakeholders. That is what I mean by inclusivity. Each and every part of this nation has to be given the sense of belonging. In nation building and indeed in all organization settings, leadership is a make or man, and therefore the single most critical factor in moving any human organization forward, be it family, social, or club, or a farm, or a nation, is to have a good leadership. Then, coming down to leadership in a difficult condition, like ours in Borno State. Because the topic also said leadership in a challenging environment. Next. That is why strategic leadership is very important. Conquer yourself first and continually renew your understanding through reading, studying, listening, and paying attention. Learn to be efficient in the use of time and resources. And that is why I came before 11 a.m. Understand the characters around you and deploy them efficiently. When I became the governor, I was able to distinguish between the friends of the Babagana Umara Zullum and the friends of the governor. Friends of Babagana Umara are my friends that we started together at our primary school level, up to my secondary school level and the university. We have been together when we are nothing. But soon I became the governor, or soon I became the commissioner. I started having many friends. These friends are so-called friends because of contract techniques. Nobody can mention this, that where I met a single new friend. That is where we are going wrong. But in the course of discharging your duties, you can have new mates that you can become friends. But just go and pick outside. I know where I came from. I was born and brought up on a village. My father was a peasant farmer. I was a commercial driver for 14 years. God is so supreme that I am now a governor of the state. I used to cultivate my farm, our farm. So the most important thing that we need to understand is that we have to understand our background, which is very important. Our lifestyle, most of our spendings are going into our own social sector. Our naming ceremonies are so cumbersome. Our weddings are so cumbersome. You give millions of nairas to a wife to go to Dubai at the expense of the poor men and women. I've never sent my wife to Dubai or Saudi Arabia. So the limited resources that we have, we need to manage it well to salvage this nation. And time has come for us to say the right thing. The resources are little. The population is expanding in the country. While the National Assemblies and other agencies are very busy in creating new agencies. Where shall we get money to finance such agencies rather than to rationalize the agencies? Which is also very important. So, I hope you understood what I mean by friends of the governor. Immediately whenever I was removed or my tenure expired, they will go back. So we have to be very careful. And this group of the category of the people are those that are mimicking the character of leadership in the country. So may God Almighty Allah in His infinite power give us the wisdom to understand this critical theory. We have friends of politics, voice of politics. I think no definition is required. Only Chibrotimi Amishi can give this one answer. Penders and pensers in politics. Let me use this forum to clearly explain one very important thing. Leadership in difficult times, in challenging times. One, you have to be resilient enough. That's one thing. For you to become a governor of Borno State, You either have to be resilient or you don't contest. That's something very important. I was attacked several times, even when I was commissioner. Nobody can count the number of bullets that were fought on us when we were attacked in Baga. But I was battling with my security partner that I would never run. Because I'm committed in delivering leadership. Leadership has to be by example. When my predecessor, my boss, as a commissioner, gave me a bulletproof vehicle, I told him, Your Excellency, sir, I'm not using the bulletproof vehicle. He said, why? I said, no. As a commissioner for reconstruction, rehabilitation, and resettlement, I do used to go to local government areas, sometimes with more than 50 degrees. I felt guilty. I feel guilty if I am the only one to use the bulletproof vehicles. If the bulletproof vehicles should be provided to all of us, finally, I will use it. Otherwise, I will use it. And to death, my security partner are whatever you would need on the use of bulletproof vehicles. 95% of my judges that are embarking on fund, I'm embarking upon without bulletproof vehicles. Recently, some decided to convince me that you are the leader, you are our role model. If they finish you, where are we? Again, this is also very important. Leadership, you have to listen to some people. But honestly speaking, again, I'm a devoted Muslim. The Holy Quran in Surah Al-Luqman clearly said that nobody has the power to take the life of any human being unless the Almighty forbids. The knowledge of when it will rain, the quantum of rain, what is in the womb of a mother, and the day of judgment is not known to anybody. The doctor might scan and tell you that this is a boy or a girl, but sometimes even they will fail. And most importantly, they will only tell you the exact situation when the child is 7 months old or 6 months old. But Almighty Allah has decreed and make it known to his angels even at the plotting stage. So another distinguished feature for us to be a good leader in a challenging environment is to prioritize your leadership. We have a lot of demands. We don't go for prioritization in Nigeria. That was why there was a time I went to Federal Ministry of Works and I told them, even if it is one single road that the Federal Ministry of Works can do within the period of 4 years in North-East sub-region, I told them I'm okay. Rather than having a lot of uncompleted projects. Somebody came to me yesterday with a very good drawing, 3D design, unknown to him that I'm also a registered practicing engineer for the last 20 years. He told me that this is a very good design. You want to build a stadium in Maiduguri. I laugh. Stadium is not my priority. When people are looking for humanitarian support, when people are looking for education, health, I told them, go back to my manifesto. In my 31st agenda, number 1 is security. Number 2 is food security. And number 3 is job creation. Without these 3 indices, you can't get education. People are not farming now. It's never feasible. We are not self-sustainable. I was in Egypt last year, last two weeks. Between Cairo to Al-Mansura, when I was going to Al-Mansura, it's about over 100 kilometers. You cannot see a space of 1 meter empty, which has not been protected. They are self-sufficient. You can see farmers in their donkeys. You can see farmers earning vehicles, trucks. In Nigeria, 95% of us are farmers. There is no enabling environment for farmers to farm in their land. No security. And therefore, we need to address the increasing security challenges. And I believe we have seen some certain level of improvement now. And as leaders, we must be self-reliant, which is very important. Next is be transparent to your people. One of the major problems that we're having is transparent. I said in Maiduguri the last 3 days, when the Director General Nanda visited us, it's the first time I heard from any federal MDAs, chief executive. He called me and said, Governor, I'm in receipt of funding from the federal government. My brother, your state is one of the graduate communities. Without fixing Borno State, the nation will not be fixed. Come so that we can work together. That is transparency. You are in receipt of funding. Members of your state executive council are not aware. How can we move forward? Your deputy governor is not aware. You receive aid from the federal government. How can we move forward? We have to be transparent to ourselves, transparent to the public also. Then next, don't ignore small problem. Under difficult conditions, don't ignore small problem. Keep learning. Choose the right thing, even if it is harder. Be resilient, stay in loop. Many of us are not connected. When we were voted into power, we walked across the look and credits of our constituencies, demanding for votes from the poor and women. After elected, what will stop us from going back to these constituencies? We don't know. We don't know what is happening in our constituencies. We open our air conditioners at 16 degrees. Living in our comfort zone. This will never work unless we go back to the drawing board. You are speaking about the federal government. What about the subnational government? The security of lives and properties of the citizens is the fundamental objective of any administration, be it state or the national level. We have to work together to find a lasting solution to our problem. We have to be well connected for us to resolve our own problem. We have to be united. Some of our leaders have problems rather than we advocating for a change, looking for solutions to some of our lingering problems. We are making some implementing steps. These are not good. These are not good. If we like to stay together, we can stay together. If we want to depart. And there are some constitutional means of departing. Because many foreign nations are able to survive, But unity is very important. Even if we want to separate, let's separate with dignity so that we shall be together. If your neighbor is weak, you'll never be strong. I'm coming almost close because I've spent up to 30 minutes or more, which I don't like. So, I want to give you a very good example of leadership. Somebody sent to my WhatsApp about a statement by a professor in one of the China university, either Fudan or something like that. I can quote him. He said, China's rise has attracted global attention. And many have focused on China's economic model behind its rise. Why? Because China has established a system of meritocracy. Selection plus selection. We have to choose competent leaders that can lead the nation. We have to choose competent leaders that can be governors. We have to choose competent leaders to be ministers. You don't go out for work 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you are not in your office. How can you perform? Governors, ministers, and many years of federal offices, mind you, are using a school myself, so that nobody should say I'm trying to protect themselves. Don't go away in offices. They don't even attend to their facts. You receive emails, you don't reply emails. You are a very big man. That's the beginning of the problem. And therefore, we have to choose leaders based on competences. Growing integrity, which is very important. First, records. Performance. China do use to conduct rigorous training with screening. If you are 100 that you want to contest for a particular position, China do use to 2 minutes are working. Let me acknowledge the Arabs and my sister and Mr. Zullum at first. Good morning to my now. I like you because of your courage also and passion for development. So, China do use to select leaders. The processes are as follows. They use to screen. What positions have you held before? What was your track record? Not that just somebody who have never worked, should be appointed as a minister. Under no circumstances, whether we like or not, that particular person will perform. As a governor of the commission, when I was appointing my chief of staff and commissioners, somebody called me and said, this is a chief of staff, you have to be very careful. Because he's a professor. He's a professor of college. And he is intelligent than me. He can speak better than me. Because as a village boy, he was born and brought up from the city and studied in UK, West, USA and others. I said that is the reason why I'm appointing him, because he's better than me. Engineers are continually called upon to design structures, not to talk. So, really don't know. Your child can be better than you in speaking English. Even if you are a professor. So I said, no, I have to pick my Ramandra because of her ability. I need somebody that can tell me the truth. Not those people that will come and tell me a And that is the situation in Nigeria. Another very important thing is that of opinion surveys. In China, whenever people are willing to contest for elections, they will do opinion surveys. With the state, you to get feedback mechanism from the vulnerable people. Then we can work. I was spoken with somebody called me in the last 3 days. I said, bro, we are trying to organize something very important because the way we are seeing you, we want to make sure that we contest other than the presidency of the vice president. Then I told him, stop. Do you know that I was born in Mafa? Mafa is 48 kilometers away from Mafa. We've now known national grid for the last 60 years. I just installed it 2 days ago. No water cooling systems. We used to take our bath in the rivers and then drink river water. But now I have 3 boreholes in my town. I don't believe people say that. No. I was born and brought up. People, some of them sold their firewood, paid firewood to sponsor my education. Why should I leave them in this area? Then I told him, my friend, I'm now a governor. In terms of community, you live in Mr. President or Vice President, the next is the governor that I have in community in the nation. Am I not contented? I'm not looking for justice. In all times, greed is one of my major problems. Greediness is one of our major problems. You are amazed when? What are you doing? I have never seen such kind of thing. When the people who have took grandchildren cannot utilize it. You buy a house of 2 billion. Whether you like it or not, there is no way you can occupy a position, a space to either live or spend a night better than this white state that I'm showing you today. And we have to change our system. You have the money, but your heart is not closed. You can't sleep. Why? Because there is insurgency. You cannot move around freely 11 o'clock inside Abuja. You cannot move in Lagos freely. Why? Because of good governance, bad governance. And please, let us not blame everybody. Blame all of us. Collectively, let us come together and look for a sustainable solution. My time is up, and I think there is a need for me to wind up, of which I'm winding up. Although when you call a professor to deliver a lecture, you know. In concluding this peace, as leaders, we will pursue peace with everything that we have. When leadership achieves peace, then security continues to improve, and economic growth naturally follows. For those of you who have been following the actions of the current leaders in different states, you will have noticed that there is a radical departure from the past. Effective leadership through serious accountability and monitoring is an important factor to succeed. Our system has been so weak that people simply consider the civil service as a place to earn salary for doing nothing. We have to look into something which is very important. We have to choose between competency and loyalty. If we go for competency, then we will get it right. Our collective destiny depends on it. To be effective as a leader, you need to have energy. This is very important too. Without energy, you can't do anything. That is also has to be considered as part of our selection process. Energy is very important, whether you like it or not. Where processes and procedures of governance are applied on a selective basis, it means we had to double our energy in checking, providing oversight, motivating different levels of leadership to stand up and deliver results for the benefit of these people. On our part, we commit to build institutions and strengthen weak ones so that governance continue to be meaningful in the lives of people through service delivery. But there's one thing that I want to close: the civil service. A director is earning how much in Abuja? A director is earning how much? Can you earn 500,000? No. Then, 2 bedroom flats in Abuja, I want to get how much? Where do you think you get the money without stealing your money? Whether we like it or not, we have to strengthen our civil service strategy for greater productivity and greater efficiency. As a professor, my colleagues are earning less than 500,000. People don't know. How can I teach? Well, with increasing valuation, increasing inflation rates, increasing cost of food production, increasing school fees, especially for those who are happy. That's why I said many are not. So we have to strengthen our civil service by motivating the civil service. So when people are now, there was a time that I had some organizations went to court or something like that, from governors, what do you call it? Pensions, something like that. If the governors can work very well and get 5 million at the end of their tenure, I think it's better for them than to steal the money anyhow. Yes! I told my deputy governor, I told him, deputy governor, I don't have anything more. I want to suffer, I want to work for my people. I'm not after their money, but mind you, I'm not perfect. No human being is perfect. For any human being in Nigeria for whom he said that he's perfect, he's trying to make a very serious mistake. Because of our constitution, if you work for 1 week, if anybody wants to tell you, he can tell you. No matter how good you are in the system. He's right. I'm not perfect. But I told him that I'm not having the intention of stealing your money, but for me, ensure that you ensure that our documents are well, so that at the end of my tenure, I'll go with the entire documents. Because this is what I want to aspire for my minister. Yes, if there's anybody in Nigeria can come and show you this is one that I have in the. No, and I'll never have. But it's not wrong for anybody to earn the means of living through legitimate means. When I get my money, I buy my house. That does not mean anything. Some are doing their businesses. It's a legitimate thing. Again, it's not good for us to castigate others. There's one thing in Nigeria that we have also. Go and walk where you are walking. Allow others to stay. This power is only when you have been trusted with this power. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the only way that we can test human being is for us to give him power. Go and sit in this seat as a governor, as a president, as SGM, or minister. Look at the videos of Ella happening through your left hand. And then say you are clean. It's not easy. We are not perfect at all. But we have to see how we can successfully have that. On this similar note, I want to come to the conclusion that the Almighty Allah give us the wisdom and courage. For those of you who may know that my fear is John. John is a Christian. We started together when I was elected on the opportunity. Because of his pedigree, when I was appointed as a commissioner, I moved people to become a partner assistant. Nobody knows my secret better than me. When I moved as a governor, I still bring him up as my teacher. He is praying, crying Jesus in his room, while I'm prostrating, crying Prophet Muhammad in my home and in my house. This kind of monasticity that we have in Nigeria. The Nigeria is divided because of two fundamental reasons: ethnicity and religion. Nepotism, Judaism. And we have to get it together. Long way together, long way together.